know him personally. I have nothing against him personally, but his performance tonight was a disgrace.
Parker should be winning most of the rounds until...
Parker's not going to scream and shout. In fact, I saw an interview of him with Kugan Cassis where he's so humble and it's like, it is what it is. What can happen? You can't change anything. Well, you can't, but you can get a rematch.
No, I wasn't, and I don't want to say that to like take away from Joe because it's not that he's a soft puncher at all. I just wasn't hurt. I got caught being lazy. I got caught a bit wrong-footed. I overcommitted with some shots and just got caught falling around a bit. But I wasn't hurt. I wasn't buzzed. You saw the way I came into it in the second round. It didn't change anything. It wasn't any different. Look, sometimes in spaces my work can be a bit sloppy and I get a bit annoyed with myself and let that get to me. But
it's heavyweight boxing. You can't go swimming and not get wet, and it's cliche. He got wet and, you know, the referee jumped in, a few unanswered shots, and that's what it takes. You know, it's one of those things. It's heavyweight boxing, you can get caught.
And I was staying to the plan, I was staying focused all the way through and looking in that one, in that round, in that moment, that voice won over it. Said, okay, fine, let's do this then. 20,000 people didn't come out to see me give it up so easily, let's throw down.
When the final bell rang, fans expected a clear outcome, but what followed left everyone stunned. Commentators and fighters alike couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. Andy Lee summed up the general reaction perfectly. This wasn't just a defeat, it felt like a robbery in broad daylight. Throughout the fight, Parker dictated the pace, kept things calculated, and controlled the exchanges, yet somehow, the scorecards told a completely different story.
Yeah, I'm watching this and I just thought it was disgraceful tonight. I just thought that... Anyway, they've robbed him of a victory, but people saw what happened.
Khabib's reaction captured exactly how everyone was feeling, total disbelief. He had Parker clearly leading on the scorecards, comfortably managing most of the fight. But then, in true heavyweight fashion, everything flipped in an instant. One clean shot turned the tide completely, a reminder that in this division, all it takes is a single punch to rewrite the story.
Hey, listen, you got caught the head on the temple, and then after that, it was a long night for him. I'm a bit sad, because I didn't want him to go out like that.
Is that because of the fights you've had with him?
No, it's because that he's never boxed a southpaw. You know, that's the first southpaw he's boxed in how long? It's maybe his whole career.
Andy Lee didn't hide his frustration. You could hear the disbelief in his voice. He expected a sharper, more composed version of Parker, both mentally and physically. The defeat wasn't just tough to swallow. It felt undeserved given Parker's experience and preparation. For someone of his caliber, walking away without the win made the result sting even more.
You see, what a crazy fight, you know. I see Parker was 7 rounds, maybe. I think Parker win, you know. But, you know, this is a heavyweight boxing, you know, one punch can change a fight. You know, and you see the result, you know. I don't know why Parker, after 7 rounds, he go back. I think he have too much muscle, you know, too much weight. A little bit, I think not so much condition.
Duke McKenzie spoke with the wisdom of a true old-school fighter. He felt that Parker made things harder than they needed to be, relying too much on strategy when pure instinct should have taken over. In heavyweight boxing, plans can fall apart in seconds if the fighter's heart isn't fully in it. McKenzie's comments were a sharp reminder of that timeless lesson.
Yeah, Paddy's slightly worse, maybe. It's not his style, not his thing to do. Parker had the head in as well. You know?
Derek Chisora put it perfectly. From the very first exchanges, it seemed like Parker never found his rhythm. Those early power shots rattled him and dictated the pace for the rest of the fight. Once a boxer loses control that early, it's incredibly difficult to swing things back in his favor. Chisora's breakdown told the tough truth. Parker got stunned early, and that moment changed the entire direction of the bout.
The fight. I think that Josie Parker threw it away. You know, they talk about tactics and game plans and one thing and another these days. Excuse me. You know, when I was boxing, obviously things were different, and you know, you kind of, you know, you went round by.
Carl Frosch didn't sugarcoat his analysis. He pointed out that Parker's defense looked uncertain, too passive, almost like he wasn't sure how to react. Instead of countering or stepping back to recover, he kept taking damage. At this level, hesitation is deadly. Frock highlighted what most observers noticed. Parker seemed frozen in the moment, unable to adjust when the pressure hit its peak. It wasn't just about the punches. It was about the lack of response when it mattered most.
Yeah, you walked in there, what game on? By the time you got hit by 3 shots, that was it. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you think the fight was...
Duke McKenzie spoke with a mix of admiration and frustration. He acknowledged Parker's skill, but admitted the game plan fell apart almost immediately. Against a fighter like Wardley, someone who feeds on pressure and chaos, there's no room for hesitation. Parker focused too much on technique when the moment called for grit. McKenzie's tone made it clear, this wasn't simply a defeat. It was a reminder that in heavyweight boxing, overthinking can cost even the best their edge.
Who knows? Parker wasn't throwing much back. He should have either grabbed on, took a knee, or at least threw a bit more back. He was sitting back with his guard up, taking punches. It looked messy. It looked like he was under attack. And
Tyson Fury's reaction came from a place of deep camaraderie. You could feel his concern for Parker, not just as a fellow fighter, but as a friend. Fury knows the unforgiving nature of this sport better than anyone. One clean shot can wipe away months of work, and he's lived that truth more than once. His words carried both empathy and acceptance, the understanding of a man who's been through those same battles. In heavyweight boxing, respect doesn't shield you from pain, and Fury's calm response reflected the wisdom of someone who's survived the chaos.
Parker, for me, the only thing that disappointed me about Parker was he threw it away. Because tactically, he got his tactics all wrong. I know in heavyweight boxing, all heavyweights hit hard, but Fabio Wardley's on a great run of knockouts, right? Just knocking everyone out. Anybody put in front of me blows.
Dave Allen spoke with the disbelief of a man who couldn't believe what he'd just seen. The fight delivered drama, just not the kind Parker's supporters were expecting. Allen admitted he thought Parker would dominate with ease, but what unfolded was the complete opposite. His reaction reflected the mood across the boxing community. Pure shock. For someone as technically sharp and composed as Parker, losing in such fashion felt almost unreal. Allen's blunt honesty summed it up. This night was supposed to cement Parker's dominance, but instead, it will be remembered as one of the most surprising heavyweight turnarounds in years.
It's heavyweight boxing. You get caught some big shots, and there was a good few punches. I wasn't counting, but it looked like a lot. Obviously, I'm concerned for Joe because he's a friend and close friend, and you don't want to see anyone get hurt. But
Dean White captured the turning point better than anyone. He explained how the fight swung like a pendulum, evenly matched until Parker burned out just a little too early. That's when Wardley's strength and calmness began to take over. His patience and raw power became the deciding factors. White even drew parallels to Deontay Wilder, pointing out Wardley's unpredictable explosiveness, the kind that can change everything with a single punch. Parker's biggest mistake, Dean noted, wasn't one moment of carelessness, but a gradual drain of energy. By the time exhaustion set in, the ending felt almost unavoidable.
An unbelievable fight, really. Ended up being a great fight. It wasn't one I was overly excited for, really. Amazing, really. Amazing. So I thought Parker would win. I didn't really have any doubts Parker would win.
John Fury summed it up like only a fighter could. He said Wardley's victory wasn't built on technique alone. It was powered by heart and unshakable belief. Even when Parker looked in control, Wardley never lost focus. Fury described it as a battle of wills more than punches. When the body started to tire, Wardley's mindset kept him alive in the fight. Parker had flashes of brilliance, landing crisp shots and pushing forward, but Wardley's determination burned brighter. That refusal to give in, that relentless drive, transformed a moment of danger into the biggest win of his career. Proof that true toughness comes from within.
I mean, both guys had their moments in there. It was ebb and flow, and you know what it is, I was like, Fabio hit him with some good shots. Fabio needs to do a bit more. But Fabio's always, he's like the Deontay Wilder of the UK, man. He always had that equal down the stretch. I mean, I think Parker blew his tank in that round before, where he literally let it out, and then kind of that was his, it wasn't what the goose.
Johnny Nelson focused less on the fight and more on the mind behind it. He saw Parker's defeat as something that went beyond bruises or scorecards. It struck his pride. Nelson pointed out that the mental pressure begins long before the opening bell, and when a fighter's bold words don't match the outcome, the emotional weight can be crushing. Pride can drive greatness, but it can also break a fighter when things fall apart. Nelson's insight revealed the deeper pain, not of being hit, but of feeling like you've let yourself down under the world's spotlight.
Fight. Joe got on top of him at times, doubling the left hook up, hitting him with the right hand, had him all over, he was reeling all over Fabio Wardley, but he bit down his gum shield. He thought, right, fuck you, I've got the power to straighten this right out, and that's what he did.
David Higgins spoke with the emotion of someone who's lived every step of Parker's journey. You could feel the heartbreak in his words. Parker was so close to victory, only for everything to collapse in an instant. Higgins reminded everyone that in heavyweight boxing, dominance means nothing until the final bell. A fighter can control the fight for nearly half an hour and still lose it all in a single moment. His reflection captured both the pain and the beauty of the sport, where one punch can rewrite everything. And respect for the game remains, even in defeat.
I don't want to have egg on my face. I've got to get a job done here. So after the things he said the last time, he knows he probably mugged himself off. I think that probably hurt him more than anything, hurt his pride.
Agit Kabayel's analysis came from a fighter's eye, raw, real, and rooted in experience. He noticed what many others did. Parker began sharp and confident, but the energy drained as the rounds went on. Kabayel's observation about the added muscle was spot on. Too much bulk can slow a fighter down, stealing away agility and stamina. It explained why Parker's timing slipped just when he needed it most. The fight, as Kabayel described it, was pure chaos, a wild swing of momentum where control vanished in seconds. Parker's bright start couldn't withstand Wardley's relentless pressure. In Kabayel's words, it was the perfect reflection of heavyweight boxing, strength, fatigue, and the kind of brutal unpredictability that makes the sport unforgettable.
He was winning most of the rounds, but you know, Wardley's got that big equaliser and rattled him, and Joseph's my friend. It's hard to watch your friend getting punched or hurt.
The night closed not with clarity, but with chaos. Once again, the heavyweight division reminded us why it's the most unpredictable arena in all of sports. Joseph Parker entered confident and composed, the man expected to dominate. But Fabio Wardley shattered expectations with nothing but heart, grit, and perfect timing. From the first bell to the final exchange, the fight delivered it all. Drama, power, and that one punch that changed everything. Reactions from legends like Derek Chisora, Tyson Fury, and Johnny Nelson captured the emotion of the moment. Disbelief, respect, and admiration for two warriors who left everything inside the ring. Parker may have fallen short on the scorecards, but he stood tall in spirit. And Wardley? He announced himself as one of the most dangerous men in the division. This wasn't just a boxing match. It was a reminder that in this sport, no one is safe until the final bell. If you loved this breakdown and want more real boxing analysis, hit subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comments, and tell us who should be next to step into that ring.